And we honor you for your word, the power of your word to change our lives, oh Lord. And Holy Spirit, we welcome you on tonight, that and we as your people would hear and also obey your word. Not being forgetful hearers, but remembering who we are and who you are. And we declare all is well. All is well. All right. So we're in the first book of Adam and Eve, chapter 76. All right. All right. Verse 1. And what we're talking about is our hearts. Is just making sure that our hearts are right. And that matters. It matters to the Most High that our hearts, because the way our heart is will be the way that our offerings are received. Because we're going to find out that the Lord really does not accept every offering. Just because we give an offering doesn't mean it's acceptable. And there's some offerings that are highly rejected by the Most High. And we're going to give a good analogy in just a moment. All right, so we're in the first book of Adam and Eve, which is the Apocrypha, one of the books that were taken out of the Bible. And in chapter 76, verse 1. And the children began to wax stronger and to grow in stature. But Cain was hard-hearted and ruled over his younger brother. Now, the children here that we're talking about are the children of both Adam and Eve, their children. And as you see, they're beginning to develop, to grow older. And it says something about Cain. It says that he was hard-hearted. His heart was hard. In other words, it wasn't right, wasn't pure, it was evil. And it says that he was actually older. And it says that he ruled over his younger brother, and that younger brother is Abel, verse 2. And oftentimes, when his father made an offering, he would what? Remain behind and not go with them to offer up. So we see here with Cain, he had a problem. He had a hard heart. And during the time of offering to the Most High, Cain would disobey and dishonor his father and not go up, and therefore dishonoring the Most High. Says he didn't want to go up because he didn't want to participate in offerings. He didn't want to participate in these offerings. He had a hard heart. He had a hard heart. And he was stubborn. He was disobedient to his father, not giving the Most High the offerings that he deserved. All right? Verse 3. But as to Abel, he had a what? Meek heart. Okay? So his heart was meek and was obedient to his father and mother, whom he often moved to make an offering, because he loved it and prayed and fasted much. So we have a comparison here between two brothers, born of the same mother and father. One has a hard heart, and he does not want to offer to the Most High. And then we have the other named Abel. It says that he had a meek heart, and he was obedient to his father and to his mother. And not only did he give offerings, not only did he like to offer, but he actually encouraged his mother and father to give offerings. Let's look at it again. Still in verse 3 halfway, it says, whom he often what? Moved to make an offering, because he loved it. So it took pleasure for Abel. Abel found pleasure in making offerings to the Most High. He found the joy and the pleasure to make sure that he fasted and he prayed, that he heard, that he communicated with the Most High. It was a pleasure for him to serve the Most High. Notice I said it was a pleasure for him to serve the Most High, to do what the Most High told him to do. But then you have the other brother, born of the same mother and father, named Cain, where he would dishonor his father. He didn't want to make offerings. He would see his family go make offerings, and he would stay behind. And this is a young child. At a young age, he was doing this. This was in him. So we have one that takes pleasure in his service to the Most High. And we have the other that does not even want to do what the Most High has told him to do. All right, let's keep going. Verse 4. Then came this sign to Abel, as he was coming into the cave of treasures, and saw the golden rods, the incense, and the myrrh. He inquired of his parents, Adam and Eve, concerning them, and said unto them, How did you come by these? Verse 5. Then Adam told him all that had befallen him. And Abel felt deeply about what his father told him. And we're going to read for quite some time. We're going to read a lot tonight. But as you see right here, one thing that is very imperative to understand, that as the Lord told us in the New Testament, he says that the pure in heart shall what? See God. Okay? The pure in heart will see the Most High. Now, right here, Abel, right here, is beginning to gain some insight. Now, the cave of treasures is basically the first place Adam and Eve went in terms of a dwelling place after their fall from the Garden of Eden. That's where the Most High allowed them to stay. And in the cave, there were remnants, some things that the Lord had in there that were from the garden. Okay? Let's keep going. Watch this, verse 7. And that night, while he was praying, Satan appeared unto him under the figure of a what? A man, right? Okay? Who said to him, Thou hast oftentimes moved thy father to make an offering, to fast, and to pray. Therefore, I will what? Kill thee. Therefore, I will kill thee and make thee perish from this world. So why is it that Satan is so angry with Abel? Okay, so for one, he's encouraging his father Adam to make offerings to serve the Most High. He's encouraging other people to serve the Most High. He's fasting, he's praying, he's living his life for the Most High. But notice Satan's objective here is to kill him. Satan visits him and says, you know what, I'm going to kill you. You encourage your father to make offerings, you want to fast, you want to pray, so that's going to cost you your life, basically. Satan is saying to him. Well, let's keep reading. Watch this. Verse 8. But as for Abel, he prayed to the Most High and drove away Satan from him, and believed not the words of the devil. Then when it was day, an angel of the Most High appeared unto him, who said to him, Shorten neither fasting, prayer, nor offering up an oblation unto thy God. For lo, the Lord has accepted thy prayer. Be not afraid of the figure which appeared unto thee in the night, and who cursed thee unto death. And the angel departed from him. So you see right here, the Most High, he knew what was happening. He knew that he was on trial because of the lifestyle he was living. He knew that the enemy desired to take him out. Why? Because he was fasting, because he was praying, because he was living a life that was pleasing to the Most High, and he was encouraging others, his father, Adam, to make sure that he continued to offer offerings. And it was a joy, it was a pleasure for Abel to live for the Most High. It was a joy and a pleasure to do what the Most High had called him to do. It was a joy and a pleasure to serve. Because you know, the offering, that's your service to the Most High. That's what you give him. And he took pleasure in giving to the Most High. But you have, on the other hand, Abel, who was very reluctant, very unwilling to do what the Most High told him to do. And we're going to find out that the only reason he gave is because he had to. He was forced to do it. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Verse 9. Then when it was day, Abel came to Adam and Eve and told them of the vision he had seen. But when they heard it, they grieved much over it, yet said nothing to him about it. They only comforted him. Verse 10. But as to hard-hearted Cain, Satan came to him by night, showed himself, and said unto him, Since Adam and Eve loved thy brother Abel much more than they love thee, and wished to join him in marriage to thy beautiful sister, because they love him, but wish to join thee in marriage to his ill-favored sister, because they hate thee. Now, verse 10, here's what's happening. So right here, Cain is very open. He's very receptive to whose voice? Satan. Not only is he open to it, but he's going to listen to exactly what Satan has said to him. Now, understand what makes Cain so open to hear what Satan has to say. He has a hard heart. Due to Cain's hard heart, he is very open to what the enemy has to say. The enemy is speaking to him. And we're going to notice that the Most High, you see how the Most High dealt with Abel when Abel had that visitation? The Most High is not going to deal with Cain in the same way. But before I move ahead, I'm going to read this next verse. Verse 11. Now therefore I counsel thee, when they do that, to kill thy brother. Then thy sister will be left for thee, and his sister will be cast away. Verse 12. And Satan departed from him, but the wicked one remained behind. Where? In the heart of Cain, who sought many a time to kill his brother. Now, what I was saying earlier was that the Most High dealt with Cain and Abel in two different ways. See, Abel took pleasure in serving the Most High. He took pleasure in making sure that his life lined up with the Most High. He took pleasure in the offering, in other words, in the service, in the way that he served the Most High. In that capacity that he served them, he took pleasure in it. Cain, on the other hand, had a wicked heart, a hard heart. He didn't want to offer anything to the Most High. He didn't want to do anything that the Most High told him to do. His heart was hard. They both had a visitation from the enemy. And the enemy told Abel, you know what? The way you serve the Lord, I'm killing you. And to Cain, he said, you know what? He spread jealousy because he said, you know what? Your sister is going to Abel, and Abel's sister is going to you. Basically, what he was saying was that one sister was essentially ugly, and the other one was beautiful. And that Abel gets the beautiful one, and Cain does not. And why did he say that? He said, well, that's because your mother and father love Abel more than they love you. Now look where he's getting this from, Satan. Look who's speaking to him, Satan. Now, watch how the Most High dealt with both of them. With Abel, he said, look, don't be afraid. Don't stop your fasting. Don't stop your service to the Most High. Keep doing what you're doing, in other words. But with Cain, the Most High was silent. He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. Why? Because Cain was open and receptive from hearing from who? Satan. Now earlier the whole time we've been talking about our hearts. Our hearts. And if you remember last time we met, we talked about bitterness. And we talked about our hearts. Now watch Cain and watch Abel. Two brothers, the same mother and father, having the same teachings. One has a hard heart. And within his hard heart, he's open to one thing, murder, to kill his brother. Now, he hadn't done it just yet. Because one thing about what we're going to find out about murdering is that this particular seed began to grow and it was developing in him. But watch this. Satan didn't make him do anything. Satan is not going to make Cain kill his brother. He's not doing that. He's just putting the thoughts in him. And watch this. His mind and his heart is already open to him. See, how is it open? The word says that, for one, he had a hard heart. And not only that, he's not doing anything about it, because when it's time to offer to the Most High, what is he doing? He's staying behind. He said, I'm not doing that. I'm not serving the Most High. I'm not doing what we're going to do what the Most High is telling me to do. And we're going to find out that eventually he will, but his heart is hard. And so Cain is open to all of this. And see, one thing about bitterness and hatred and envy and things like that, what it does is it produces seed that begins to grow and that begins to develop. And we have to make sure that we deal with it. Because we're going to find out that Cain had opportunity after opportunity to deal with what was in his heart. But he chose not to. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's go over to the next chapter. Chapter 77, same book. Chapter 77. Miracles. All right, verse 1. But when Adam saw that the elder brother hated the younger, he endeavored to soften their hearts, and said unto Cain, Take, O my son, of the first fruits of thy sowing, and make an offering unto the Most High, that he may forgive thee thy wickedness and thy sin. Verse 2. Also to Abel, take thou of thy sowing, and make an offering, and bring it to the Most High, that he may forgive thee, that he may forgive thy wickedness and thy sin. Then Abel hearkened unto his father's voice, and took his sowing, and made a good offering, and said to his father Adam, Come with me, to show me how to offer it up. Now watch this, verse 3 one more time. Then Abel hearkened unto his father's voice. He honored his father. Okay? And he took of his sowing and made a what? A good offering. And said to his father, Come with me to show me how to offer it up. And you see this children and even the adults. He honored his father. And there's a key to it with honoring your father and your mother. And not only that, he honored his father and mother in this, but not only that, he honored the Most High. Because if you notice, it said that he gave the Most High what type of offering? It was a good one. He didn't just go and gather just a little bit here and a little bit there, and some leftovers, some rotten fruits, and things that he didn't even care about. No, he offered the Most High something good, something valuable, something worthwhile. Notice his service to the Most High. His service to the Most High, his offering, the way he served the Most High, it was good. It was pleasurable to the Most High. Let's read that one more time. Let's read it again. Verse 3. Then Abel hearkened unto his father's voice, and took of his sowing, and made a good offering, and said to his father Adam, Come with me to show me how to offer it up. And he's asking Adam, I need help you gotta show me. How can I offer this offering up? I made a good offering, but I want to do it right. The way I serve the Most High, I want it done right. I want to make sure that I offer it the right way. I don't want to just give the Most High any old thing. I prepared this good offering. I got this ready, but not only do I have it ready, but I want to present it the way I present to the Most High. I want to make sure it's right, not just giving him any old thing. You see this? And see how holy and wholesome and meek and humble Abel is to the Most High. He wants to make sure that the way he gives to the Most High is pleasing. The way he serves the Most High is pleasing. All right, let's keep going. And they went, Adam and Eve with him, and showed him how to offer up his gift upon the altar. Then after that, they stood up and prayed that the Most High would accept Abel's offering. Verse 5. Then the Most High looked upon Abel and accepted his offering. And the Most High was more pleased with Abel than with his offering, because of his good heart and pure body. There was no trace of guile in him. Do you see this? It says the Most High, he was more pleased with Abel than his offering. Yes, Abel offered a good offering, but what was the Most High so pleased with? It was the way he offered to him. Now, how did he offer to him? It had nothing to do, it wasn't so much about the forms and the steps and following the proper procedures, but it was his heart. See, his heart was free from guile. His heart was pure. His heart was honest. He had a good heart toward the Most High. So that goes to tell us this. Anybody can do something in the house of the Lord. So let's say, clean the bathroom, sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, what have you. Anybody can sweep. Anybody can clean a restroom. Anybody can mop the floor or play the drums or, play an instrument. But the Most High is only pleased with certain ones that play. That's certain ones that clean up. That's of certain ones that do things. He's only pleased with certain types of gifts. He's only pleased with certain types. And notice with Abel, he had instructions on how to offer. He had instructions from Adam. Adam showed him how, okay, this is how you make this offering. But it was so much deeper than making sure the offering was done right that pleased the Most High. It was his heart. It was his heart. And that goes to show us so much as we live our lives, the things that we do on a daily basis with our gifts, with the abilities that the Most High has given us. How do we give it back to him? Me as a math teacher, I could teach math easily. That's just something I'm gifted with. It comes natural. But the Most High is only pleased when not only do I use my gift, but I use it with a pure heart. It means so much more to the Most High, more than just, did you teach them, but did you do it the way I told you to do it? When you taught them, did you have a pure heart? As you were serving me, was your heart right? Because we're going to find out in just a moment that it matters to the Most High. Not just the offering, but how it was offered. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep on going. Verse 6. Then they came down from the altar and went to the cave in which they dwelt. But Abel, by reason of his joy at having made his offering, what did he do? He repeated how many times? 3 times a week, after the example of his father Adam. So watch this. Not only did he offer this one time, he kept doing it. It said he did it 3 times a week. He took pleasure in making this offering. And notice, no one told him to do it. No one had to say, go offer to the Most High. After this time, he realized it's such a pleasure to serve the Lord. I'm going to do it just because. I serve him just because. That's just what I want to do. When I serve the Most High, it's because that's what I want. I love him so much that I'm going to give to him. I'm giving him my life. I'm giving him my best. Why? Because I love him. No one had to tell him, look, you need to give the Lord your best. No. It was just in him to do it. Why? Because his heart was right. And because his heart was right, he served the Most High. Now watch this, verse 7. But as to Cain, now watch Cain. Now what kind of heart does he have? Starts with an H? A hard one, good. As to Cain, he took no pleasure in offering. You see that? Cain, he didn't take pleasure in offering, but he's going to do it anyway, though. But after much anger on his father's part, he offered up his gift once. And when he did offer up, his eye was on the offering he made. I'm going to stop right there. Listen to this. So Cain, with the hard heart, it says he took no pleasure in offering. And why? So why did he do it? Why did he do it? His daddy made him do it. He only did it because his dad made sure it made him offer. Adam made him do the offering, so he did it. In other words, this is the kind of gift he gave. I'm just doing this to get over it, do it because I have to. And not even now I want to. I don't even love the Lord like that. I'm just giving because I just know it's what I'm supposed to do. I'm just going to do this because, I don't want nobody talking about me, so I'm going to go ahead and give. I'm going to go ahead and get this done, get it over with. Don't want to do it up anyway. Don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I'm just doing it because I'm trying to get it over with. I'd rather be somewhere else doing something else. And that's how Cain's heart was, because you notice earlier, Cain, he didn't even participate in the offerings anyway. But this time he's going to offer because his father has gotten on to him so much. It's like, I'm just doing this just because. Now, how many of us have ever, in your lifetime, received a gift from someone, you know they didn't want to give it to you, and you don't want it? Well, me personally, I have. It's like, if you give me something and I know you don't want to give it to me, you can have it. Just keep it. Because I don't want your gift, really. If you don't love me, don't give it to me. If it's not from your heart, if you got strings attached to this, I don't want it. Just keep it. If you give me this and I take it, and that means that I'm in debt to you, you can have your gift. I don't want it. If you're only doing this to fulfill an obligation, keep it. Yep. Just go ahead and keep it. And the Most High, we're going to read how the Most High feels about it. But that's the gift. That's the offering that Cain is preparing for the Most High. I just want to get this out of the way and do what I really want to do. I just want to do this, fulfill this obligation, and then I'm out. I'm gone. But notice his heart, though. It says he had a hard heart. All right, let's keep going. All right, we're still in verse 7, halfway down. His eye was upon the offering he made. So he didn't even let it go. But watch this. And he took the what? The smallest. He took what? The smallest of his sheep for an offering. And his eye was again on it. So Cain, he gave the least of the least. I'm going to get, okay, you say I got to give this, okay, fine, whatever. I'm giving you my smallest. In other words, I'm giving you something I don't care about. I don't care if I lose it, I'm just going to give it. But notice, even when he did give his smallest, his eye was still upon it. In other words, he was still worried about it. Because he never really gave the Lord anything. Even though, okay, physically, the sheep, he put the sheep on the altar physically. But mentally, he still was holding on to it. He never released anything to the Most High. But you see, all of this stems from his heart. All of this stems from what type of heart? A hard heart. And that hard heart has all kinds of junk and nastiness in it. And you see that because he has this hard heart, he can't even give like he's supposed to give. It's not over yet. Let's keep going. Verse 8. Therefore, the Most High did not accept his offering, because his heart was full of what? Murderous thoughts. And they all thus live where? Together. in the cave, which Eve had brought forth, until Cain was 15 years old and Abel was 12 years old. So, right here, Abel is sleeping with his soon-to-be murderer. He's right there with him. Right there. His own brother has this heart. He's 15 years old at this time. And, Cain's 15, Abel's 12. But his own brother's right there. Wake up, go to sleep. Your murderer's right there. Because his heart is not right. It's right there. They both had the same parents. They both had the same opportunity. One is a murderer and one is a believer. One has a hard heart. The other one has a pure, holy heart. And we can only say to ourselves, which one am I? Where's my heart stand? And that's a question that we have to answer. And we can only answer that by being honest. Now, hopefully, we all, would have a pure heart because, we definitely don't want to sit by a murderer. I know I don't. But then the key to it is this. Where do you stand? And when we know where we stand, if we're on the side of the murderer, Cain, hey, we got to get it right. We got to get it right. And notice, the murderer was right there, right with him, his own brother. Would go to sleep by him, wake up by him, they're all in the cave together, right there. And at this time, he's 15, but this started as a kid, way younger than a teenager. It started a long time ago. This was in him. And please understand this, though. It wasn't even so much that it was Satan's fault. Because who had the hard heart? Cain had it. The only thing that Satan did, he made the presentation. He said, because he presented two things to the brothers. For one, Abel, he presented, I'm killing you because you're righteous. But to Cain, he said, go kill your brother. The Most High said to Abel, don't receive. In other words, don't listen to Satan. But he said nothing to Cain. Why? Because he already knew Cain's heart. And Cain it was already in him. It was already in him. It was already in him. All right, let's keep going. We'll move to the next chapter. That's chapter 78, verse 1. Are we there? Miracles. Okay. Chapter 78, verse 1. Then Adam said to Eve, behold, the children are grown up. We must think of finding wives for them. Then Eve answered, how can we do it? Verse 3. Then Adam said to her, we will join Abel's sister in marriage to Cain, and Cain's sister to Abel. Verse 4. Then said Eve to Adam, I do not like Cain, because he is what? Hard-hearted. But let them abide until we offer up unto the Most High in their behalf. Verse 5. Adam said no more. Meanwhile, Satan came to Cain in the figure of a man in the field and said to him, behold, Adam and Eve have taken counsel together about the marriage of you two. And they have agreed to marry Abel's sister to thee, and thy sister to him. But if it was not that I love thee, I would not have told thee this thing. Yet if thou wilt take my advice and hearken to me, I will bring thee on thy wedding day beautiful robes, gold and silver, in plenty, and my relations will attend thee. Look who's talking. talking loud and clear. It's Satan here. Now, Satan is lying back and forth to Cain, but Cain, he's not even realizing it. Now, look at this. How is it that Satan can give Cain beautiful robes? How can he give him gold and silver when he has nothing? And if you, as you read in the Apocrypha in this particular book, as you read, we see that Satan, he's ugly, looks disgusting. So how is it you're going to give me gold and silver and all these nice things when you yourself have nothing but death to offer me? But you notice, one thing about Satan is that, in our hearts, is that if we allow an evil heart to stay on the inside of us, we begin to believe anything that's a lie. Notice how Satan is beginning to dress himself up. All these gold and silver and the relations and what have you. And he don't even have all this to offer. He can't do none of this that he's offering. He can't do none of it. But yet he's making himself look desirable. And look who's talking to him. And Cain at this time, he don't even realize that because of his hard heart that he won't deal with, he's going down deeper and deeper and deeper. Watch this. 8. Then Cain said with joy, where are thy relations? So he's having a good time talking to the enemy here. Verse 9. Satan answered, my relations are in a garden in the north, whither I once meant to bring thy father Adam, but he would not accept my offer. You see that? So he said, okay, look, Cain, my garden is over here in the north. I was trying to take Adam there, but he wouldn't even listen to me. Why wouldn't Adam? Of course Adam wouldn't listen to you. Because the first time he listened to you, you kicked him out of the garden. And now you think now that Adam is going to listen to you, you want him to go to your garden that doesn't even exist. But again, this deception is so easy for Satan to work because his heart is already primed for it. Let's keep going. Keep going. 10. But if thou wilt receive my words, and if thou wilt come unto me after thy wedding, thou shalt rest from the misery in which thou art, and thou shalt rest and be better off than thy father Adam. Again, another lie. Because the Most High had already told them, this was already set in stone. Adam and Eve would not have rest from all the work and the toil that they would have to do until 5,000 years. They were going to have to wait. Adam and Eve kept begging to go back to the garden. The Most High said, no, you're going to have to stay in this punishment. Now, how is it that Satan is going to take you out of punishment when you have the Most High already destined you got to stay? But notice he's take pleasure in listening to this lie, into this deception. Not realizing that everything that's coming out of Satan's mouth is meant to steal, kill, and destroy him. But he can't realize it because his heart is hard. All right, let's keep going. 11. At these words of Satan, Cain opened his ears and leant towards his speech. And he did not remain in the field where he was supposed to be. But he went to Eve, his mother, and beat her, and cursed her, and said to her, why are you taking my sister to wed my brother? To wed her to my brother? Am I dead? So look at this. So the beginning, well, should I say the physical manifestation of him being a murderer is already here now. Mm-hmm. See, now he just beat his mother. Now, again, Cain, he's a murderer. He's already a murderer, even though the action hadn't taken place yet. The seed's already in his heart. All he's doing is being groomed for it now. So now, physically, he's beating his mom. All right, let's keep going. Let's go down. Let's go down to 13. His mother, however, quieted him and said to him, and sent him to the field where he had been. Then Adam came. Then when Adam came, she told him of what Cain had done. But Adam grieved and held his peace and said not a word. Do you see the destruction that Cain is being groomed for? And you see Adam, he hadn't really physically done anything about it. Eve is trying to quiet him down. But it's like they can't do anything with him. You know, there comes a point in time where if you continue to allow evil to stay in your heart, there's nothing nobody can do. They can tell you, I told you what to do. I told you. But now at this point, it's just a matter of time. Who you are, it's just a matter of time. And for Cain, it's just a matter of time before we see what he really is. He's already starting to manifest. Watch this. "16, and then on the morrow, Adam said unto Cain, Take thy sheep, young and good," so he says good, "and offer them up unto thy God. And I will speak to thy brother to make his offering, to make his God an offering of corn." Verse 17, "Then they both hearkened to their father, Adam, and they took their offerings and offered them up on the mountain by the altar." Verse 18, "But Cain behaved haughtily towards his brother, and thrust him from the altar, and would not let him offer up his gift upon the altar. But he offered his own upon it, with a proud heart full of" what? "Guile and fraud." Now, he went from having what type of heart? A hard heart. Now we're going to add pride to it. We're going to add guile to it. Now we're also adding fraud to it. You see that? It just keeps building up. It gets worse and worse. He pushes his brother off the offering. Again, he's being primed to be a murderer. Physically. He's already a murderer, but physically, he's just being primed for it. Notice his offering. Full of pride, guile. You see this? Fraud. That's the kind of offering he's about to give the Most High. And we can only do this. Ask ourselves, man, how do I really serve him? As I go throughout the courses of my days and my weeks and my months, what kind of service do I give the Most High? I know I put a smile on. I know I get everything done. I just get it done. But how did I get it done? Cain's going to get it done too, but we're going to realize the way he got it done wasn't right. Okay, so we see his heart full of guile. It was hard, pride, fraud. Verse 19. Watch this. "But as for Abel, he set up stones that were near at hand. And upon that he offered up his gift with a heart humble and free from" what? "Guile." 20. "Cain was then standing by the altar on which he had offered up his gift, and cried out unto the Most High to accept his offering. But the Most High did not accept it from him, neither did a divine fire come down to consume his offering." So you mean to tell me that this time Cain got a good sheep? Because his father told him he had a good one this time, and a young sheep. So you mean to tell me he got a good and a young sheep, and the Most High didn't accept it? But wait a minute. Did not Cain offer a good offering also? Remember, as we read earlier, Abel. Remember Abel offered a good offering to the Most High? It was good, right? But Cain, on the other hand, he also offered something that was good. Physically, on the outward appearance, it was good. But notice the Most High, he didn't take it. He said, I don't want it. I'm not taking that. In other words, you're wasting your time, Cain. You might just go ahead and do what you're going to do. Go ahead and get done what you got to get done, because offering this offering to me is a waste of time. I don't want it. Your sheep, you can keep that. I don't want it. I don't need it. And the Most High told him that, because he didn't burn it. Because what was supposed to happen was, when you made your offering and you prayed to the Most High, he would take it. And the way he would accept it is the fire would come and consume it. But the Most High said, I don't want it. So you mean to tell me we can be doing things and what we say is the name of the Most High, and it's just a waste of time? He not accept it. Yes. And that's the thing we have to ask ourselves, Lord, where's my heart? And you ask yourself, where is it at? You know? And if we find that we got this guile, deceit, the fraud, if we're not right before the Most High, we got to get right. Because, yes, you could be doing all these things, and the Most High is like, just go sit down. I don't want that. I don't even want it. And you see the tragedy that's about to happen. But the thing about it is, Cain had time to get it right. He had time. But this is how Cain is going to use his time. He's using his time to become worse and worse and worse. But if you look at Abel, he's using his time to become better. Let's watch this. If you go up about Abel, it talks about his heart when he offered. Let's go up here. Okay, in 19, it talks about Abel's heart. It says, but as for Abel, he set up stones that were near at hand. And upon that, he offered up his gift with a what? Humble heart. His heart was humble. And it was free from guile. So during Abel's time of fasting and prayer and service to the Most High, his heart was humble and it was free from guile. And that's where we have to be as his children, as we are learning and growing in who we are and understanding who we are. As we serve him, we got to make sure our heart is right. Let's keep going, though. Let's keep going. Let's go down to 20. Yeah, 21. Let's go down to verse 21. But he remained, as Cain, he remained standing over against the altar out of humor and wrath towards his brother, to see if the Most High would accept his offering or not. Do you see that? So it's kind of like this. Cain had got his brother off the way, pushed him away from the altar, got in his way, made an offering, out of line, out of order, totally out of order. Now he's standing back, laughing, saying, is the Most High really going to accept your offering? He's laughing at his brother. All right, let's keep going. 22, and Abel prayed unto the Most High to accept his offering. Then a divine fire came down and consumed his offering. And the Most High smelled the sweet savor of his offering, because Abel loved him and rejoiced in him. And because the Most High was well pleased with him, he sent him an angel of light in the figure of a man who had partaken of his offering, because he had smelled the sweet savor of his offering. And they comforted Abel and strengthened his heart. But Cain was looking on all that took place at his brother's offering, and was wroth on account of it. Abel, because of his service, the Most High honored him publicly. He strengthened him. Because we know, we're going to find out that Abel's getting ready to deal with a lot, about to get murdered. But the Most High, he strengthened him. Even in the face of his adversary, he strengthened him. Even in the face of his adversary, as you live holy and righteous before the Most High, do you see how he honors the righteous? Now notice Abel didn't have to fight for himself. Abel didn't have to go out and fight Cain because he pushed him. No, all he did was serve the Most High the way he was supposed to serve the Most High. And you see the Most High is honoring him, is strengthening him. It's showing, look, I'm well pleased with him. You see that? Let's keep going. "25, then he opened his mouth and blasphemed the Most High, because he had not accepted his offering. But the Most High said unto Cain, Wherefore is thy countenance sad? Be righteous, that I may accept thy offering. Not against me hast thou murmured, but against thyself." So the Most High is telling him, look, Cain, you don't have to be upset with your brother. You just got to be righteous. Because if you be righteous, I'll accept your offering too. It's not that Cain is any better than you. All you got to do is be righteous. Get rid of the guile, get rid of the fraud, get rid of the deceit, get rid of the hatred, get rid of the anger, get rid of all that stuff out of your heart and be what? Righteous. Let me read that again. That's powerful counsel the Most High gave him. He said this, 26. "But the Most High said unto Cain, Wherefore is thy countenance sad? Be what? Righteous, that I may accept thy offering. Not against me hast thou murmured, but against thyself." So he says, Cain, listen, this is what's going on. When you have all that deceit in your heart, the hard-heartedness, when you have all that in you, it's not me that you're coming against. It's more than just me. You hurting your own self. Because notice what the Most High did. With the righteous, he accepted their offering. But with the evil, you hurt your own self. In other words, if we sit here and try to serve the Most High, and we know we ain't right, we're coming against ourselves. Because what we're doing is we're wasting our time. It's just wasted time, because the Lord not accepting it. And he says, look, you sitting here and you're jealous of this person and jealous of that person, envious of that person because you think the Most High loves them more, you think they're more loved than you or they're better than you. It's nothing to do with that. Yeah. It's simple. You get your heart right and the Most High accepts you also. Mm-hmm. And that's what he's telling them. Cain, listen, just live righteously. That's what I need you to do. Just live righteously. And I'll accept you also. But Cain had in his heart, he had this in his heart. He had envy against against his brother Abel, because he felt like, he listened to the enemy and he felt like, well, my parents love my brother more because they're giving, me the other sister. And then he feels like, man, my life isn't good. Because remember, Satan tempted him by saying, if you follow me and go to the northern garden, you'll have a better life than your father. You get out of this misery. So it's kind of like saying, man, my life ain't no good. I don't like my life. I got to go through this, I got to go through that. Not realizing that the Most High told him, just live righteously. I'll accept you also. But you just got to live righteously, though. That's what you need to do. Live righteously. Now, that living righteously, that doesn't keep you out of trials and testing. No, you're going to be tried and tested, but the thing about it is the Most High is with you. Right. And that's what he was telling the king. Live righteously. All right, let's keep going. "27. And the Most High said this to Cain in rebuke, and because he abhorred him and his offering." 28. Then Cain came down from the altar, his color changed, and of a woeful countenance, and came to his father and mother, and told them all that had befallen him. And Adam grieved much because the Most High had not accepted Cain's offering. Okay, let's go down. Okay, let's go down to verse 35. So, verse 35 says, "Today, O my brother, I very much wish thou wouldest come with me into the field, to enjoy thyself, and to bless our fields and our flocks. For thou art righteous, and I love thee much, O my brother, but thou hast estranged thyself from me." You see, if you just listen to who he sounds like now. He sounds just like Satan. His whole speech is beginning to change. Why? This is from his heart. Because of the person that he's listening to, he's talking just like him now. Because he tells his brother, "Come bless our fields because you're righteous." But wait a minute. The Most High told him to live righteous. Cain could have blessed the field also. His field would be blessed also if he was righteous. Why do you want your brother to do something you can do yourself? All you got to do is live righteous. Now watch this. Then he tells his brother, "I love thee much." Really? So you tell me that I love you, but in your heart telling me I hate you because I'm ready to kill you. I've been trying to kill you since I was little. And that's really how I feel, but I'm just going to tell you that I love you. And you see how the Most High, that's why he tells us as his people, our heart got to be right. Because Cain is telling him, "I love you." Verbally, "I love you." But his heart is saying, I'm trying to kill you. I've been trying to kill you since we were younger. And I'm just waiting to find this opportune time. That's what he's really saying to him. Now, then he says to his brother at the end of 35, "But thou hast estranged thyself from me." Now, in other words, he's saying, you're distant from me. You've grown away from me. Like you don't want to hang out with me no more. Which is good. Abel shouldn't want it. And here's why. Here's why he's saying that. As you begin to depart from the Most High, detach yourself from the Most High, the people, the Most High's children, begin to look foreign to you. It's kind of like, I can't really talk to you like I used to. What are you doing wrong? I don't really know you like I used to. You seem like you're different. No, it's not that the Most High's people are different. You're different because you switched fathers. You have a different father now. You changed. But you blame it on the Most High's children. So it's kind of like you depart from the Most High, but you blaming me as if I left you, when really you left me. Because all I'm doing is serving the Most High. That's what Cain was doing. He just serving the Most High. But now you make it seem like I'm doing something wrong. No, it's not me. And you see how deceitful he is. Kind of like he's trying to bring a guilt trip on Abel. Make him guilty. "Oh yeah, you're right, brother. I've been fasting and praying. I've been giving all these offerings, and I hadn't been spending time with you like I should." But he was just serving the Most High like he was supposed to. Now, let's keep going. 36. Then Abel consented to go with his brother Cain into the field. But before going out, Cain said to Abel, "Wait for me until I fetch a staff because of the wild beasts." 38. Then Abel stood waiting in his innocence, but Cain the farmer fetched a staff when he went out. And they began, Cain and his brother Abel, to walk in the way. Cain walking to him, and Cain talking to him, thank you, and comforting him to make him forget everything. Now, if you notice, so Cain says, I need to get the staff, because I'm trying to, protect us from the wild beasts. No, he's trying to kill us. But I want to go up. Let me go up just a little bit. Verse 33. There's something I want to point out. Verse 33. Let me go back to 33. When Cain heard these words of Satan, he was filled with rage and let no one know. It says when Cain heard these words, basically Satan told Cain to kill his brother. When he heard these words, he was filled with what? Rage and let no one know. But he was laying wait to kill his brother until he brought him into the cave and said to him. Now, in verse 33, again, the Most High, it's almost like he keeps giving Cain warnings and a chance. At this time, he's filled with all kinds of rage. And what does rage make you? To make you act in a violent way. His heart was full of rage now. It wasn't just heart, it was rage, out of control. But he didn't let nobody know. He was suffering. He had all this in his heart, but he wouldn't get it out. In other words, he wouldn't confess it. I'm just gonna keep this to myself. I'm angry, I hate him, but I'm just keep it to myself because I don't want to tell anybody. I'm not confessing this one. He had all this hatred and this rage in him, but yet he's telling his brother, "I love you." He had all this in his heart, but yet he's saying, "Hey, but I love you, and you don't really spend much time with me, and I want to spend more time with you. I want to show you this, and I want to show you that. I want to go out here with you." But all on the inside, full of rage. But his words said love, but his heart said otherwise. And that's why the Lord deals with us about our hearts, to make sure that our hearts are right before him. Now, let's go on to the very next chapter. That's 79, chapter 79. Miracles. Get there. And so they went on until they came to a lonely place where there were no sheep. Then Abel said to Cain, "Behold, my brother, we are weary of walking, for we see none of the trees, nor of the fruits, nor of the verdure, nor of the sheep, nor any of the things of which thou didst tell me. Where are those sheep of thine thou didst tell me to bless?" So Cain, again, he's lied to his brother. He tells him, "We're going to a beautiful place. You're going to bless these animals and the fruit or what have you." And then now they're in the desolate place. Nothing's there, too. Then Cain said to him, "Come on, and presently thou shalt see many beautiful things. But go before me until I come up to thee." Then went Abel forward, but Cain remained behind him. Verse 4. And Abel was walking in his innocence without guile, not believing his brother would kill him. Then Cain, when he had come up to him, comforted him with his talk, walking a little behind him. Then he hastened and smote him with the staff, blow upon blow, until he was stunned. Verse 6. But when Abel fell down upon the ground, seeing that his brother meant to kill him, he said to Cain, "O my brother, have pity on me. By the breast we have sucked. Smite me not. By the womb that bare us and that brought us into the world, smite me not unto death with that staff. If thou wilt kill me, take one of these large stones and kill me outright." Then Cain, the hard-hearted and cruel murderer, took a large stone and smote his brother with it upon the head until his brains oozed out. and he weltered in his blood before him. Do you see that? He was a murderer from the beginning because he never dealt with his heart. And if you look at Abel, it says he was innocent. This innocent man. He didn't deserve any of what happened to him. None of this. All because of his brother. His brother persecuted him and killed him. All because his brother never confessed and got this mess out of his heart. Never did. And he had opportunity, but he never would. All this time, Abel was fasting and praying and serving the Most High. Jealousy and hatred, envy, the murder was just building up in Cain. It was building up in his own brother. And we as a tribe, we as a people, we have to make sure that that's not us. That's not us. That what was in Cain, the murdering and the hatred and the guile, the fraud, that's not in us. But what's in us is what was in Abel. The righteousness, the purity, the humbleness, the meekness, the enjoyment to serve the Most High. And you notice how Abel served the Most High. Once Adam showed him how to make that offering, he did it on his own, 3 times a week. Adam didn't have to keep telling him to make offerings. He just did it because he wanted to. He served the Most High that way because he wanted to. He served the Most High with his whole heart because that's what he wanted to do. That's what he wanted to do. Cain, he refused to serve the Most High because that's what he wanted to do. And notice they both offered offerings. They were both there making offerings. One accepted, Abel. The other not accepted, Cain. So that's why I say we as a people make sure that as the Lord deals with us about things, get it, let it go. So that we don't wind up like Cain. And there's way more to the story in terms of what happens to Cain and how he has to live his life. But like I say, we don't want to be that brother that has the murder and the hatred. And notice, all you had to do was confess it, to get it out. He had to get it out. And some of you may feel like, someone's better than you. No, don't receive that. Because the Most High, he said this, just be righteous. Just live righteously before me. And it's not about someone being better than you or over you. And if you notice, Cain within his heart, he was the older brother. But one of the things that the Most High said about him was he would always try to rule over his brother. And that wasn't his place. Always telling someone else what to do. But never listening to the Most High for his instructions. And that's the thing. Things that that's not right, got to get it out. You have to let it go. Don't let it stay. Because the adjectives or the way that the Most High would describe Cain, it kept getting worse. First it was one way, hard. But then he kept adding things, the fraud, the guile. The last thing he called him was a murderer. It kept getting worse. These things kept getting worse. But it didn't have to be this way. For Cain nor Abel, it didn't have to be that way. But that's the life he chose. That's the life that Cain chose. That's the life he chose. So, and even, those that, you serve the Most High like you're supposed to, keep serving them. Keep serving them. Keep making sure you do what he has called you to do. Don't ever stop serving the Most High. Don't ever stop serving the Most High. Don't let anybody stop you from serving him. You keep doing what he has called you to do. Yes, you're going to be hated. They're going to hate you. They're going to hate you. You will be hated. That's supposed to happen. But just make sure that at the end of the day, you like with Abel, I did what the Most High told me to do. I did what he told me to do. And today, if you're listening by way of the internet, on media, if if you're ready to make that decision for the Most High, in other words, live the life that He called you to live, we invite you to make that conscious decision to live for Him. And it starts real simple with your confession. Those things that you know that's not right in your life, you tell Him. You confess them. You ask Him to forgive you. You ask Him to help you and teach you to live righteously. Also, you want to get into a church that can teach you about the Most High so you can grow and you can develop in your life. Also, you want to get a Bible. You want to start in the first four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, so you can learn more about your Savior. Also, after that, you want to start in Genesis, which is in the Old Testament, and read your way through the Word so you can learn. If you need help to find a church home, we're here in Douglasville, Georgia. We're the Salt and Light Church. Or if you need help to find a church home, give us a call. We can help you find one. Even if you need a Bible, you need help to get a Bible, we'll help you and send you a Bible. But again, living for the Most High, it starts with a decision, a confession, knowing that you need help. So just like with Cain, he needed help. But he chose not to get that help. He chose not to confess. He chose not to repent. He chose not to follow the ways of the Most High. But you don't have to be like that. When you see that the way you're living is not the way the Most High wants you to live, you confess. You ask Him to deliver you, to help you, so that you can live with Him in eternity. The vision of the Salt and Light Church is to see mankind become productive in every area of their life so that we, the body of Christ, may have a positive effect in our society through the Most High. And Father, we thank you for your word. Those that have chosen to live for you, may you strengthen them. Those that have made the decision to repent and to follow your will and to follow your ways, I thank you that you give them your grace. You give them the wisdom and understanding on how to follow you. And we declare on tonight that all is well.